Good morning, Cool 102.
Hi, Joe and John. This is Carly.
Hey, Carly, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Oh, wait, I have to be less emotional because Joe says that when I talked to you last time, I was gushing, fawning, and overly emotional. I'm fine, Carly. Thanks for asking.
I want more gushing.
We'll both gush. Is that okay?
That's better than ever.
Everybody's gushing about your book.
Isn't that terrific? I'm so pleased that it's doing so well.
It's Boys in the Trees, a memoir, and it's Carly Simon, and it is doing fantastic.
Burning up the charts.
Yeah, it's
Just like the midnight oil.
I bought the audio copy today.
Good. That sounds great. I know it's hot. It's hot, as they say. And I never anticipated such a reception. It's great. I hope it's not all having to do with your Sauvain. That would be a real mistake.
Well, I remember last year at this time, Carly, we were having a conversation with you, and you were just penning this novel.
Yeah, I was in my third year, I guess, because I guess I finished writing it at the end of the summer, and then the company wanted me to put it out in time for Christmas, which everybody thought was going to be an impossible thing to do since things like covers have to be thought of, and a real crunch around the fall when I was trying to read the audiobook. And then I decided to score the audiobook. I not only read the book, but I also score it with a little bit of music for your listening pleasure.
The streets, naturally, were empty, the avenue itself bleak-looking and exposed. Jittery neon shut down for the night. Storefronts armored with metal gates. I noticed that Charivari, an upscale boutique on the corner of 72nd and Columbus, had new mannequins in its windows, imports from Madison Avenue, wigless, with hard, white, pouty-lipped faces, shoulders ringed in fake fur. Two of them looked in my general direction and said, "You're one of us."
That's what...
I'm glad you played that. I love that part.
That's what sold me on the audiobook, but I'm a little nervous now that I got it. Because I got...
Why are you nervous?
Well, Joe has the hardcover, and he's been going through some of these stories.
We've been reading some excerpts on the air.
And
You have?
yeah, and I got the audio CD as a gift for my mom.
Yeah.
She'll be good with it. Have no fear.
But
Will she be good with it, or will she be a little...
I don't know.
Think, oh dear, I shouldn't be tuning in on this level?
No.
But you know what? Thank you for doing the audiobook because my mom has macular degeneration and she lives for audiobooks. And when I heard that excerpt, I just thought, oh, she would really like this because of the music and everything, and just the writing is great.
And the best part about it is it's you, Carly, reading your memoir, and this is definitely a must-present for any Carly fan on your list. Both the print and the audio version, right, John?
Yeah, and you actually have some songs on the audio CD, correct?
Well, on the audio CD, there are a couple of bonus tracks, and on the companion CD, and they're the songs that I actually discuss in the book. I will be talking about the writing of Anticipation, and then in the booklet, it says what page to turn to in the book if you want to see the part where I'm talking about writing it.
That's very cool.
So there's all kinds of interconnection between those 3 discs. The audiobook is 11 discs, but between the audiobooks and the CD companion and the book, there's a lot of interreferences.
You've been promoting this with your kids.
Has that ever surprised you before?
That's true. And when we come back with Carly Simon, we're going to find out how a rock star, pop star mom raises normal, well-adjusted, happy children.
Talk about it.
And we're back. It's the Wicked Cool Morning Show. John and Joe and Carly Simon is back, and it's nice to visit you around the holidays. And are you going to have the whole family around?
You know, my daughter is going to the Galapagos during the Christmas vacation, and I don't like it at all. It's the first Christmas that she won't have been here, and she's taking with her my grandson, Bodie, who's now 7, and her husband, Dean, and they're going to see all these wild animals on the Galapagos. Have you ever been there?
No, only on television.
Me too. I somehow think that if I've seen them on television, that's quite enough.
I'm a rugged indoorsman.
That's great. I'm going to start calling myself that.
Carly, my wife Lynn, if she didn't marry me, she would have married Ben. And when Ben was performing last year in Truro, from his ride down from Maine, he was the passenger in the car with his bandmate, and he was creating these dollar bill rings.
Oh, I remember.
Yes. And he gave one to Lynn, and she keeps it in her jewelry box with all the jewelry I got. It makes me a little jealous. But she will hold on to that and treasure that for the rest of her life.
Oh, Ben, he's just so amazing. He's just, I don't have enough words to even tell you how I feel about my kids. They're the sunshines of my life. They teach me so much, and they keep me sane. I don't know which deep end I would have gone off where if it hadn't been for having kids, and those kids in particular.
Does he have that calm disposition like 24/7?
He's sometimes calm, and he's sometimes quite outraged. I mean, he's got a lot of anger in him, which I think most people do, unless they're not in touch with their anger. But I see quite a bit of passion and outrage in him, just the normal amount.
So he is a normal person. Whew, that was good.
He's just especially good looking.
Well, look at his jeans.
Well, look at them. I'm aware of them, but I think he's certainly is a step above his old jeans. He's just got his own dashing way.
Lynn loves him because he's always barefoot.
Well, yeah, and he's the barefoot mayor. I know you're thinking, what does she mean by that?
Yes, exactly.
People here kind of call him the barefoot mayor because he can go anywhere he wants to on this island, even a dressy restaurant, and he can get in with his bare feet because he's the mayor.
There you go.
So it says no shirt, no shoes, unless you're Ben Taylor.
That's right.
No service.
You're going to get together with the rest of your family, though, for Christmas Day, right?
Well, I'm not going to be with my initial family, in other words, the Simons, because they're all in New York.
Yep.
So it's just going to be me and Ben and a bunch of our close friends, David Saw, who's a great musician who stays up here with us and is here now, and John Forte, who's another of my godchildren, and he's up here now, living on the island for the winter, and my friend Tamara, who's here, and her sons, who are also my godchildren. Do you want to know how many godchildren I have?
How
Yes.
many?
I have 8.
Wow.
And they're all sons, so they would fit perfectly into the boys in the trees, because I don't know why I've never been given any goddaughters. Is it that all my friends have just had boys, just by, I don't know, or whether I've just been asked to be the godmother to boys. I don't know.
Do you think that you're one of the boys? Is that your personality? Do you have more men friends than women friends? Because there's women like that are sort of one of the guys.
I don't see. No, I think I have just as many women friends as I have men friends. But I know what you mean. Sometimes with women, or sometimes with members of your own sex, there's more competition, or you see it as if there's more competition, But I have some very close friends since I've been in high school. I've got the same friends, and I haven't. It's hard for me to make new friends. Ever since I turned 30, it's been hard for me to make new friends. I don't think I have a really close friend that I made from after the age of 30 or 35, maybe. I don't know why that is. I think maybe you've just filled up your dance card. I'm still very much an insular person. I'm the closest to my family members and to the people that I work with, the musicians I work with, and my assistant. I'm very close with her, and the people that work on the farm here. I kind of live on a semi-farm here on the Vineyard.
You live on an island.
I live on an island. So, what are you saying? That's not a farm? Or
No, this farms.
No, but what I'm saying is, it's not a giant, world that you inhabit on a regular basis. Yeah, you get off the island for special events and, to visit people or to do the book tour. But, it is kind of insular, and that's kind of cool. It's worked out pretty well.
I once had a psychic tell me that cement was my enemy.
If it's falling, yes.
But sometimes I have that feeling walking down the city street that there are all those people that I don't know, and the strange thing is I don't take them for granted. I want to know them. I want to know everybody in an audience. That's one of the things that I do to make it a little less strange for me to be up on stage being the one person that's looked at instead of being in the audience looking at that one person. I think to myself, please turn the lights on the faces in the audience so I can see all of them, because I want to know the people who I'm singing to.
You've, had rather famous performance anxieties over the years.
If you want to find out about my performance anxiety, do read the book, because I think a lot of people suffer from it and would like to get my firsthand experience, what that was like.
My anxiety isn't on stage.
Where is it?
The bedroom. But anyway.
Really?
Then read the book.
I need to read the book.
Now, Carly, it's quite the life's journey, and your total recall is amazing.
Well, that's because I kept diaries from the time I could write.
There you go.
I just went back through all of my diaries. It was almost like a rewriting of the diaries, just with more adult-like words. Instead of writing about what I had for breakfast that morning, and to be finalized at the end of the page by what I had for dinner, I start writing about slightly more sophisticated thoughts, such as, how would Tolstoy have thought about this problem with a little adultery? So just the subject matter gets more sophisticated.
I think about that in the morning, too. How would Tolstoy have thought about this omelet?
Are you happy with where your life is at right now, Carly?
I'm happy a lot of the time. I don't think one is given a constant state of, okay, now you're happy. I think I have a graph that rides pretty far and wide. Sometimes when I'm low, I'm very low, and when I'm high, I'm very high. Which isn't to say that I'm quite a manic depressive, but I think if I had one thing to call myself, which would allude to psychiatric disease, it would be manic depressive, because I tend more toward that than just toward being down all the time, or being up all the time, or being out of the realms of reality, which would make me a schizophrenic. Or that's been a dinner table discussion. If you were sick, what would you be sick with? If you were sick in the head, what would you be sick with?
Wow.
Joe.
I'm glad I don't have to go to your dinners.
No, I want to know, what would you have? What complex neurological or psychiatric disorder would you be if you went that far? If you were, not as normal as you are.
I would have multiple personality disorder.
Good. Thank you for sharing.
I'm not going there, but Oedipus complex? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I think a lot of people identify with that, because you do feel. How often do you feel that your reactions to things, if they were going to have happened an hour ago, would have been different?
That's why people have to be very careful with things like Facebook and Twitter, because
I think you're right.
Because they get a
right.
flash of anger, a flash of outrage, a flash of political tribalism, and then they put it out there. And then 5 minutes later, you might feel a little more centered. It's like a snapshot.
Well, we're a very intricate form of living matter, we human beings are, and there's so many realms that I'm excited about being able to travel. And we've traveled into space. We haven't traveled enough into the milky areas of our brain, and the fascination I have is with going deep inside and seeing what about the human being reacts in certain ways. And my book really is much more about what being a human being is like than what being a star is like, because I don't think of myself as being a star. I think of myself as being a human being who has that film over it of having experienced stardom at certain times in my life. And it mixes, in my case, like oil and water. It just doesn't really become homogenized ever. So when I'm talking to you, I'm not aware of being a star at all.
If you're out in public, people approach you, don't they?
Yes, they do. And my first reaction is, why me?
Is there a preferred way that people should approach you if they decide that that's what they want to do?
Oh, I guess without any expectation, because I don't know exactly who I'm going to be or what mood I'm going to be in or what my thoughts will be running concurrently with what I say to you. I'm always as nice as I can possibly be, and I'm generally a generous person, and I like to think I'm that way with people who don't really know who I am. But what was your question?
How do you most prefer to be approached?
With something that's not going to require too much of an answer.
Okay, so I could come up to you at the farmer's market on the island and say, may I carry your bag to your car?
That would do.
Okay.
That would be lovely. But then, of course, I have to look you over and make sure that you're okay to carry my bag.
And you would reconsider instantly after looking them over.
Hey, come on.
You might actually call security at the farmer's market. Bring a pitchfork. He's a nutcase. What about the selfie? Now, it used to be people ask for autographs, but now they want pictures, right?
Oh, that's a no-no usually.
Because first off, people get sort of gobsmacked meeting a famous person that they instantly forget how to run their phone. And then that takes forever.
Oh, no, wait a minute. My flash just didn't go off.
Yeah.
Again.
Oh, I got it on video.
Oh, I get that all the time.
Oh, I do too. I know. Because it is very confusing to know how to stop it on photo and not to let it go to video.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Okay, so no selfies. Could people take a picture from a distance of the...
Yes.
Oh, they can. Okay.
Sure. Just don't ask me to pose.
Okay,
That's
no
when
posing.
I get really like, oh my God, is this my good side or my bad side? Did I ever have a good side? I don't know.
All right, when we come back with Carly Simon, because we have to, play a couple of commercials and pay for this thing. You always set a really beautiful table or have really unique sort of Martha's Vineyard holiday celebrations. So we want to find out what's on the menu for this year's Christmas.
Oh, I'm nervous now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I always try to make the house look really beautiful, and that doesn't mean spending a lot of money and going and digging up trees out of the ground or anything like that. It just means even picking up twigs on the lawn. If you have kids and you want to send them out, this is what my mom used to do with us. She said, go out and see what's on the lawn, see if there are any pine cones, any twigs, any old pieces of fruit lying around on the ground from the fall, and just make a design with them. Bring them back in and put them on a platter, and make a design between the outdoors and the indoors. And so you put pine cones around the edge, and you put leaves and maybe some pine needles and some nuts. And then on the inside, with a slight buffer between the two, you put fresh vegetables. Pile them up as high as you can, all in edible, bite-sized pieces. And that's one way of making just a very, very natural kind of a centerpiece. And then beyond that, we're going to have some kind of meat. I'm not sure what kind of, it's going to be fish or fowl yet. I haven't decided. And then I love yams, so I'm going to make my favorite kind of yams with paprika glaze over them, a little bit of cinnamon and paprika, and then you stick it in the oven, and it comes out all crispy with a little bit of sugar, too.
Nice.
And you want me to go on? Because I could go on for a long time.
You can go on as long as you want.
Brie with champagne grapes is always delicious.
Ooh.
Baked brie with tiny little champagne grapes all around it, and cranberry sauce, of course, with whatever. I love cranberry sauce with just about any type of meat or fish. And I love chutney, too.
What about dessert?
Dessert. What about the dessert? Apple pie. I love apple pie so much, and that's one dish that I don't like cinnamon in. I leave the cinnamon out of the apple pie, and I put it on the yams. And then there's always a big salad.
Now, let's move into the living room here. Did you get that new couch I saw you talking about on Facebook?
Yes, I got the new couch. I'll send you a picture of it. I just got it, and I got it from Restoration Hardware.
Nice.
It's one of my favorite stores.
Is it a puffy sort of like lay on it with bad posture kind of thing, or is it a more upright? Oh, good. I like puffy.
No, total lay on with bad posture and beer. And watch the football game.
Oh, yes. We are total Patriots fans.
Oh, I know. Well, so are we here, and my boyfriend always has to watch each of the games. And sometimes they conflict with the Sunday night specials or the Sunday night serials, rather, of certain shows that I love, like The Affair. Do either of you watch The Affair?
My wife does. She DVRs it so she can watch the Patriots and then that.
So she watches. See, I haven't learned how to record anything on my TV yet because I'm very unmechanical. I'm like Woody Allen in that way.
I'm the same way. She does everything.
That's so cool. Can I have your wife?
Well, let's work out at some sort of a trade.
Okay. A trade or a borrow?
Sounds good.
Well, this sounds like a great holiday at the Simon Ranch.
Simon Ranch. It's a beautiful, and we take walks. We take beautiful walks. I think it's going to be a splendid day on Christmas, or do you think we're going to have a cold snap?
Actually, it looks like it's going to be close to 60 and partly cloudy, a little windy though.
On Christmas, you've already got that figured?
Yeah, we got a long-range forecast here. Cool.
Oh, you're so smart.
Now, does that bum you out that isn't going to be snow and a Currier and I've seen on Martha's Vineyard with sleighs driving by and, people all bundled up? Or is it just like, cool, everybody can wear flip-flops and Ben can go barefoot again?
Ben goes barefoot in the snow, believe it or not.
There you go.
Yes, I do fall for the Currier and Ives thing. I must admit, I just love it. If it's not Currier and Ives, it's Norman Rockwell. I mean, if you live in New England, you're supposed to have snow. You're supposed to have snowy Christmases. But we've had plenty of them in the past couple of years, haven't we? Or
Yes.
There's been snow on the ground from other previous days.
After last winter, it's surprising the snow isn't still on the ground.
I know. Wasn't that a winter? My goodness.
Yeah, so I'm not worried about the reprieve that's happening this December. But then again, I'm a rugged indoorsman, so it doesn't really
He
affect
is.
me.
He never goes outside at all, Carly.
What do you do when you do go outside?
Rush back inside.
I know. Just every time I get the urge to exercise, I just lie down and wait until that passes.
Yes.
Yeah, he stays indoors. I live on the Outer Cape, and I'm always out from P-Town to Eastham, out on the dunes, the beaches, the bogs, doing a lot of photography. I love that.
Really, how nice. And I bet you climb rocks and at least dunes, right?
Oh, yes, I do, all the time.
Are you very fit?
I'd like to think so. I'm kind of leaning towards not fit right now, but I do have endurance. I can go out and walk the jetties to wonderlands where people never go. I love to do that.
And where are they?
I'm out in P-Town in Truro, especially.
I love Wellfleet, too. I've been
Yes.
to Wellfleet a bunch of times.
Joe goes outside so we don't have to. Because he posts these beautiful photographs of the natural beauty of the Outer Cape, and we actually feature it every Monday on our Facebook page because Joe's photos are amazing. But he does the legwork to get them every single day.
I must say, as of today, I made a resolution even before I talked to you, so this didn't come as a result of this conversation, to take a picture of the first thing I saw every morning as I went downstairs.
Wow, there you go. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and make a kind of just a photographic diary of what's the first thing that I see every morning, whether it's the sky or whether it's what happens in my kitchen the night before or whether it's the living room and what instruments are left out against what other instruments that are in danger of breaking, or whether it's a bud that's come out in the spring, or it's just. I mean, I probably won't have too many repeats because there's so much just to see within this small frame of my life, that which is my life. There's indoors and outdoors, and there are animals, and there are people's faces, and goodness, there are shadows making all kinds of different light every day of the year. Thank you, shadows.
I remember the time that you called me when I was at my home, Carly, and I was trying to get a turkey off my roof, and you were in your office, and you said you were looking at the buds blossoming on your apple tree.
Oh, goodness. Well, that must have been in May.
Yes,
that's
it was.
exactly when it happened.
Yep.
Oh, it's so beautiful. I know. And do you have your favorite trees that you just, that you look at every season to see that they're doing their typical thing?
Yes, we have a cherry tree in our yard that's just beautiful when it starts to open up.
Oh, I know. And you don't want to miss a second of the day when the cherry blossoms are out, or the apple blossoms. It's just so gorgeous. You just don't want to go inside at all.
I'm partial to forsythia.
You are?
I like when the forsythia comes out. I don't like saying it. I sound like Sylvester the cat. But
Forsythia is a dumb man's plan.
Bingo.
Sorry to say. No, I won't say that about
or
you.
willow. What are the purple ones that are in like big tall bushes? What do you call those? Lilacs.
Well,
That's in your
the
song.
Way you say it sounds like a big dumb guy too. But
You love lilacs. You have it in
I love lilacs and avocados.
Yes, you have that in that.
Ukuleles and fireworks and.
You're the love of my life.
Yep.
I do love
good.
lilacs.
There you go.
But my favorite flowers. Let's see. My favorite. I know you didn't ask, but I love to talk about flowers and trees, and I'm starting to design jewelry.
Get out.
I really am. I'm designing jewelry that's going to be very beautifully carved in silver and gold, and then I'm going to design them. And I'm tracing my leaves because I want to make all the leaves around this area out of silver, and then do little design work in gold, like put their veins in gold, and then the edges in another kind of metal. And I'm going to sell them on beautiful chains, and then give all the money to the reforestation of of the trees that have burned down in our local habitat.
Well done.
Thank you.
That is wicked cool.
So yes, I'm a big lover of trees. What's your favorite tree?
I'm going to have to say weeping willow, actually.
Good choice.
I do like the weeping willow, but I am a fan of the larch.
The larch, very good choice, an unusual choice. I'm a fan of the larch, he says. I'm a big magnolia fan. I love the magnolias, even when they're not in bloom, because they have such beautiful, dark green, shiny leaves.
And then they have that scent of magnolia blossoms wafting over the savanna.
That's right.
You want to have a mint julep.
I was just going to say, could you pour us a couple of mint juleps, John?
Oh, we could go on like this for all day talking about trees. But see, that's you have this. You have the heart of an artist, so you make every little thing sound monumentally important and beautiful. That's your gift.
Oh, well, the beautiful things in nature are just, it's so, you just want to, I don't know what it would have been like before television, because I probably would have traveled the world being so keen on seeing every different kind of plant that there is. But television just satisfies so much of that need. It's just amazing. And parents who don't let their kids watch TV should let them watch nature shows, because the nature shows are so inspiring, don't you think?
Oh,
Yeah,
I agree.
We grew up with those. Yep.
I actually like nature better in high def.
I agree. I like everything better in high def, especially if I don't need my glasses to watch it, because it's so annoying to get just the right glasses to watch the TV with, because all the TVs in my house are really small, because I keep things until they really wear out. I don't get the newest, largest, but now my eyes are kind of wearing out a little bit in the distance. I used to just have to wear them for reading, but now the distance isn't as good as it once was, so now I've got to get just a certain number of feet away from the TV.
Well, I have an idea. You could dump that Philco now that you got the big puffy Restoration Hardware couch, and now get yourself a big screen TV to watch the Pats on Sunday.
You don't understand. There's no room in my bedroom for TV.
I'm not saying your bedroom.
No, but I like to watch TV in bed.
Oh,
okay.
Sometimes. What are your favorite series? The great series that have been on in the last 5 or 10 years on TV,
Ooh.
HBO and Cinemax and Showtime. And
I loved Transparent on Amazon, and I loved House of Cards every year. I loved The Newsroom on HBO.
I've never seen The Newsroom. That's one that I'm going to treat myself to, because I love to watch them. Did you ever watch Mad Men or Breaking Bad?
Breaking Bad, yes. I love Blacklist. I don't know if you've ever watched that.
No. What is that about?
It's more of CIA and FBI, and there's the number one most wanted man is actually helping them catch all the other bad people around the planet.
And he's deliciously played by James Spader.
Yes.
Oh, I love James Spader.
He's brilliant in this.
He's so wonderful. He's good in everything that he's been in. I just love him. Now, what is the name of that? And it's
The Blacklist.
The Blacklist. And is it HBO or is it
NBC?
NBC, yes.
Yes.
To deal with
But if you get Hulu and that, you can watch other seasons. It's probably good to start with the first season.
Binge watching. I'm definitely a binge watcher. I just binge watched something I highly recommend called The Nick.
The Neck?
The Nick.
Nick.
K-N-I-C-K.
Really?
It's with Clive Owen.
Oh.
And he plays a doctor at the turn of the century who's also addicted to cocaine and heroin. And so he's always doing these operations while he's high as a kite on cocaine.
You know, they have another word for binge watching now?
But
Eye guzzling.
really,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's where
where
you
do
just,
you pick up this terminology?
the street mainly.
When he goes outside for 10 minutes a day, he picks up things like
Look
that.
at the forsythia.
I look at the forsythia when they're in
Exactly.
bloom. Fun. So we want to can we get you saying a couple of things? First off, everything Joe does is about his adorable grandson.
His name is Dylan. He's 2 years old in 2 months, and he's just the brightest, most beautiful boy ever. I love that boy to death. And I was wondering if you don't have to if you don't want to, but you know how Happy Birthday to You goes. If you could do like Merry Christmas to you, Merry Christmas to you, Merry Christmas, dear Dylan, Merry Christmas to you. That would just make our year.
But what would Dylan think?
He'd love it. If we recorded you doing that and he heard that, you know what he'd say? He'd go, one more. Because he always says that. Like encore. His encore is one more.
The way I used to sing Itsy Bitsy Spider to my kids, and they would say, again.
Oh, yes.
All right, I'll be happy to sing, and then I have to get off, too.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
So let me sing to Dylan. Happy Christmas to you. Happy Christmas to you. Happy Christmas, dear Dylan. Happy Christmas to you.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Now, I was kind of singing it in my child voice.
That was awesome. Thank you so much.
It was fantastic. It's always such a pleasure to talk to you because you've never had that thing happen that happens to some people as the years go on. You don't have hardening of the attitude.
Thank you for that. Thank you.
You're always curious, and there's always something new going on with Carly Simon. And thanks for sharing all of your plans for the holiday, and thanks for being a part of our Cape Cod community.
Oh, man, I wouldn't live anywhere else.
Everyone who grew up like I did, falling in love with you over and over again, Carly, read Boys in the Trees, a memoir by Carly. You can get an audio version or a print version. You know somebody who loves Carly Simon? Here's the perfect Christmas gift.
I hope it doesn't mortify my mother too much when she gets the audiobook version.
When she gets to that mannequin scene, boy.
Whoa, sheesh. That's kind of steamy. I think my mother can handle it. I think she
she probably can. She's probably been through more than you know.
Ain't that the truth?
Thank you so much for joining us this morning on the Wicked
What a
Cool Morning
pleasure.
Show.
Thank you so much, guys. Talk to you soon.
One more thing. Can you do the obligatory Merry Christmas from Martha's Vineyard? This is Carly Simon on Cool 102.
Sure. Hi, this is Carly Simon, wishing you a Merry Christmas from Cool 102.
Perfect. We can play one of your great songs on that. Excellent.
Here, let me do another one.
Okay.
Sure.
Hi, this is Carly Simon. I'm calling from Martha's Vineyard, but not very far, over to Cool 102. Merry Christmas.
Perfect.
Lovely.
Okay.
Thanks so much for joining us, and
Thank you,
and
Carly.
continued success. Happy, healthy times for you and your friends and family.
Thank you to you, too. It's so nice to speak to you, and Merry Christmas. Have a great day. I
You
didn't
too.
ask you what you were eating, but next time I will.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, Joe.